Okay, so we are live. Welcome to this little 40k show. So we're going to go through a few of the faction focuses. Apologies, I wasn't here Monday. I actually got bitten by a dog. It wasn't why I wasn't here, but I did get bitten by a dog over the weekend. And then, yeah, lots of things happened. But such is life, such is life. I won't show you the dog bite. It's on my back up here somewhere. Got to pay OnlyFans some money for that sort of thing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the Drukhari first, who came out on Monday. There is a Discord link in the description. So if you want to come and chat to us on Discord, feel free. So let's get into the Drukhari. Swap it round so you can see the screen. Okay, so Drukhari. Power from the pain. If your army faction is Drukhari, units from your army with this ability can become empowered through pain. This is done using pain tokens. Gaining pain tokens. If your army faction is Drukhari, you gain pain tokens as follows. At the start of the battle, depending on the battle size, so basically strike force, you're going to gain 3 tokens, which is the 2,000 points. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed, you gain a pain token. And then each time an enemy unit fails a battle shock test, you gain a pain token. Okay, so with the amount of battle shock tests and then destroying units, that's quite a few pain tokens that are given out. Each time you gain a pain token, keep it to one side. This is your pain token pool, like your dice pool. So empowered through pain. Oh, is this still the same? Oh, this is still an army rule. It's not a detachment rule. So basically, how to spend these tokens is, you can expend 1 or more pain tokens from your pain token pool. Each time you do, select 1 unit from your army with the power from pain ability until the end of the phase that unit is empowered and gains the abilities listed below, depending on the phase. That unit is empowered and gains ability depending on the phase. So you get empowered in the movement or charge phase. You can re-roll the advance or the charge rolls made for that unit. Okay. Charge rolls really good. Advance rolls, if you got to do it, it's at the start, so you got to predict that you're gonna have a crap advance roll and have it there just in case you need to roll. I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice if it was reactive, or that if you didn't need the advance roll, you could put it back into your pool. Like, that would be quite cool. And then empowered shooting or fight phase. Each time you can re-roll hit roll. Less re-rolls in this edition, but you know, Oath of Moment, this, loads of other things we've seen where you can re-roll. Seems like it's just as many re-rolls. But yeah, it looks really good. Looks really nice. Then we have a detachment rule. At the start of the battle, you gain 1 additional pain token for each of the following of your army contains. So if you have an Archon, a Succubus, and a Homunculus, 1 of each, for each start of the battle, you gain 1 additional pain token for each of the following army contains. Oh, so you could have 2 Archons, 1 Succubus, and you'd still get 3 pain tokens. So that's really nice. So, you know, if you had 5 characters, for instance, of these, you'd get an extra 5 pain tokens. So yeah, that seems really good. Let me know what you guys think. What you think of the power from pain and the pain token rule. Okay, the Venom. You can replace the twin splinter rifle with splinter cannon. Model is equipped with a splinter cannon, twin splinter rifle, and blade vanes. So you can have 2 splinter cannons on there. This model has a transport capacity of 6 Drukhari infantry models. This model cannot transport grotesque models or models that can fly. Before the battle, at the start of the declare battle formation step, you can select 1 Kabbalite warrior or witches unit from your army. Does that mean they can't take racks? If you do, that unit is split into 2 units, each containing as equal a number of models as possible. When splitting a unit in this way, make a note of which models from each of the 2 new units. One of these units must start the battle embarked within the transport. The other can be put wherever you want. So, does that mean that Cabalites and Witches predicting failing a charge, money in the bank for you, Pat? Yeah. That's like, you know, I think the predicting failing a charge, though, is actually worth doing. The predicting failing in advance, not so much. Not so much at all, Ollie. So it seems like the Cabalite Warriors and Witches are going to be in units of 10. And then you have to use a Venom to split them into 5s. Maybe like the Votan. Or is it just an option? They still come in units of 5, but if you have a unit of 10, then you can split them if you want. A bit like, Ollie, what's the Marine rule? Combat Squad? Combat Squad. I think it's Combat Squad. Okay, so movement 14, toughness 6, 4 up saves, 6 wounds, 6 leadership, 1 OC. Splinter cannons, anti-infantry 3+. So this is basically poison, but now it's 3+, but it's only infantry, not infantry and monsters. Has sustained hits 1, so you get exploding 6s. Strength 3, -1, 2 damage. They're hitting on 3s. It's 3 shots. It's quite nice. It's like a little anti-infantry heavy bolter, basically. Splinter rifles, again, anti-infantry 3+, rapid fire, twin linked, so because they're twin splinter rifles that get to re-roll the wound. So it's quite reliable damage there. On some infantry. Yes, combat squads, I was right. Thank you, Ollie. Blade Veins, 3 attacks, 4 up weapon skill, strength 5, 0p, 1 damage. Yeah, they're okay. So they have Deep Strike, firing deck 6. So 6 models can fire out of them. Very nice. Deadly Demise 1. That means 1 mortal wound. Stealth, so there's still -1 to hit. At the end of the fight phase, if there are no models currently embarked within this transport, you can select 1 friendly Drukhari infantry unit that's 6 or fewer models that is wholly within 6 of this transport. Unless that unit is in engagement range, 1 or 1 units, it can embark with this transport. That is really strong. I mean, the Venom seems quite weak though. What do you think, Ollie? You think that might die to a stiff breeze? It is -1 to hit, but 6 wounds at toughness 6 in this edition doesn't seem like it with a 6 up invuln. It's a 6 up invuln, to be honest. If it was a 5 up invuln, maybe they can get a 5 up invuln. I don't know. It seems, yeah, a little weak. Although, it is a 4 up save, so if it gets cover, it's a 3 up save, and then with the lack of AP, you probably never get into the 6 up anyway. Unless you're shooting it with something like real hefty, and then it's probably going to die anyway. Okay, Cabalite Warriors. Movement 8, toughness 3, strength 4, 1 wound, 6 up leadership, 2 OC. Sort of like what we've seen in the past. Nothing too surprising there. Blast pistol, so strength 8 -3, D3 damage. That's the pistol, which is 6 range. And then the blaster, which is 18 inches. I think it's going to be hiding behind a wall, and you're going to see a lot of jump, shoot, jump. Ah, yes. Of course. Didn't think of that, Ollie. This is why Ollie's here, because he has all the meta chasing. He's got the meta chasing brain, you see. So you stick it behind a wall, and then you get out of it, you shoot, and then you get back in it with the strat. Or not the strat even, it's just an ability. Oh, that's going to be gross. You're just going to have loads of them behind walls. That's not even a stratagem, that's just an ability. At the end of the fight phase. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be absolutely disgusting. They're going to have to do something about that, Ollie, surely. Seems way too good. Okay, so you got Blaster, which is 18-inch range, and this is Strength 8 -4, D6 1 damage. Strength 8, not a lot of strength in terms of the new toughness of... I mean, when you're looking at a Rhino, is toughness 9, so you're wounding Rhinos on 5s. Then we have the Dark Lance, which is heavy, which is 36-inch range, 1 attack. Ballistic skill 4 for this one, because it's a heavy weapon when you can get it down to a 3. They didn't want you hitting on 2s, apparently. Strength 12, -3, D6 +2 damage. So really nice profile. You're going to do some damage with that. Shredder, which is now a flamer, 18-inch assault flamer. Nice. D6 shots, strength 6, 0 AP, 1 damage. You got a unit of Scourge with a load of them. It's going to be naughty, isn't it? Especially when you can Overwatch in the movement phase. Yeah. Could be naughty against a close combat army. Splinter Cannon. Anti-infantry 3+, heavy sustained hits 1. So it's in that. It's very nice. Then we have the Splinter Pistol and the Splinter Rifles. Yep. So Splinter Rifle is assault if it's not a twin. And it's anti-infantry 3+. And then a Sybarite weapon, which is anti-infantry 3+. So again, it's poison. Hitting on freeze, 3 attacks. That's really nice. And then the close combat weapon of the normal guys, 2 attacks, hitting on freeze. Yeah. It's alright. No anti-infantry on that though. Sadistic Raiders. If you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase, and this unit or any transport unit is embarked within, is within range of an objective marker, that objective marker remains on its sticky objectives. I wish they'd stop calling it different stuff. They've put all this unanimous, universal special rules, but they've given this one to loads of people. Just call it something and then just give it that name to everyone. Phantasm Grenade Launcher. The bearer's unit has the grenade keyword. Alright. Cool. So they can use that one strat, I'm gathering. Maybe there's other strats that people can use with grenade keyword as well. Yeah, I mean, seems alright. You jump a Cavalite warrior unit out with like a Dark Lance and a few Shredder shots to kill Splinter Rifles to kill any infantry. You play the Power from Pain reroll to hit on them. You shoot everyone. You jump back in the Venom behind the wall. Seems great. Very useful. And it's 36-inch range on that Dark Lance and 24 inches on the Splinter Rifles. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, Weapon Spotlight. Twin Drukhari Haywire Blaster. So this is anti-vehicle 4+, devastating wounds, twin linked. So you're doing 3 mortal wounds on every 4 wound, and you get to reroll wounds because it's twin linked. 24-inch range, 2 shots. It's not loads, but if you're rerolling to hit, you're probably getting 2 through, and then you're rerolling to wound. There's a good chance you're getting 2 through. So it's probably 6 damage to a vehicle. If you've got a few of them on some Talos, it's probably going to be quite nice. Then you got Lilith's Blades, anti-infantry 2+, sustained hits 2, attacks 8, weapon skill 2, strength 3, but you're wounding on 2s, AP 2, 1 damage. Yeah, really nice. What you expect from Lilith. Plenty of attacks. Get them exploding attacks 2 on every 6 you roll. So you're probably coming out of it with about 10 attacks and then probably 10 wounds, probably doing 10 damage, or maybe less because it's only AP 2. But yeah, really nice. She is going to be brutal, and with her thrilling spectacle rule, which you can once per battle, you can increase her up to 12 attacks, and you can give her a 3-up invuln. I'm assuming she's normally got a 4-up invuln. Otherwise, she'd be a bit glass cannony. So, what we got next? Alliance of Agony. So if you've got 1 Archon, 1 Succubus, and 1 Homunculus from your army, discard 1 pain token from your pain token pool. Until the end of the phase, all 3 models units are empowered. You can only use this stratagem if you are able to select all 3 of the target models stated above. So at least it is, as long as you've got 1 of each, you just use 1 pain token and all 3 of them are going ballistic with rerolls to hit, basically. Seems pretty good. I mean, anti-tank wise, they've got the Haywire. Looks quite good. What do you think? What do you think in the chat about the Drukhari? Think they're looking sweet? I think with the rerolls to hit, we don't know what. I mean, we really need to see. I'd like to have seen the Incubi and maybe the Witches to see what the Witches are doing. I mean, the Haywire is nice, but to be honest, you only really get Haywire on Talos, or you can put some on Scourges, but they won't be twin linked, so you wouldn't be getting the rerolls to wound on the Scourges. So yeah, maybe 3 attacks might have been better on the Haywire. But then it depends how much they are, depends how much Talos are. It all comes down to points really on all of this. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the Gene Stealer Colts. I think overall, you know, Drukhari don't look bad. I think they clearly don't look as good as having last editions, but no one does. So I think it's fine. Okay, Heralds of the Star Children. I think that thing that Ollie said as well about that jump, shoot, jump with Venoms is going to be really strong. Okay, Cult Ambush. Just look how long that army rule is. Just, you know, so simple. If your army faction is Gene Stealer Cults, each time a unit with this ability is destroyed, roll 1d6, adding 3 to the result if it is a battle line unit. Fortunately, I've read this about 52 times, so I do understand it now. On a 4+, that unit is placed into Cult Ambush, and you can place one Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. So your little blips that you used to have, you can now place them when one of your unit dies. You can put them anywhere on the board that's 9 inches away from any enemy units. And on a 4, well, you have to roll a 4+ if your unit dies. If it's a battle line unit, so basically troops, it just comes back automatically. You don't need to roll because you add 3 to the result. And yeah, you put it on 9 inches away, and then if an enemy model ends any kind of move within 9 inches of that Cult Ambush marker, you place that Cult Ambush marker is removed from the battlefield. At the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's next movement phase, for each of your, I haven't read this 52 times, wasn't enough. For each of your Cult Ambush markers that is still on the battlefield, you can select one unit from your army that is in Cult Ambush and set that destroyed unit back up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability. Cult Ambush markers in the battlefield. You can select one unit from your army that is in Cult Ambush. Right. And set that destroyed unit back up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability. So you Deep Strike into your opponent's turn, containing all of its models with their full wounds remaining, with at least one of those models touching the Cult Ambush marker. You have to be touching the marker. Okay. But, I mean, they're setting up in your opponent's movement phase. Your opponent then gets to probably shoot at it or charge it. Yeah, I mean, it seems strong. You're bringing units back, and you're bringing units back for free. But the time when you're bringing them back is when you don't get to use them, and your opponents can use them. I mean, yeah, I can't work out how good that is. Yeah, I feel like it needs to be played to see how strong that is. Characters that are attached to a unit with this ability are not returned alongside that unit should it return to the battlefield as described above. Only bodyguard units return. I think this is just going to be really strong against the slow armies like your Necrons, your Death Guard, your Votann. And it's going to be really weak against Eldar, who can just be like, boom, yeah, I'm near all of their markers, bang, pick them all up. But we'll see. We'll see once it's played. This is especially great if your battle line units, Neophyte hybrids and Acolyte hybrids, these both have OC2, so after they've been destroyed, you can reliably bring them back to claim an objective marker deep in enemy territory. If your opponent's letting you put markers on their enemy territory and not taking them off, then your opponent's not the best, unless he's almost dead. Or just aim their guns and claws and at a key enemy unit. Yeah, but I don't get when you're. Ollie says, I love and hate this rule at the same time. Hard to fathom if it's good or bad. Yeah, I can't work it out. Like, it seems like it's good, but then it's like, maybe it's not that good. This is especially great for battle line units. So, when your forces arrive as reinforcements, whether by deep strikes of cheap reserve or through cult ambush, you can also use the Ascension Day detachment rule. They come from below. Each time a Genius Cult unit from your army is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements until the end of your next fight phase, weapons equipped with this model have sustains 1 and ignores cover abilities. But it says that you're coming in. Have I got this right, Ollie? You're coming in on your opponent's movement phase. It says the cult ambush marker is removed from the battlefield. At the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's next movement phase, for each of your cult ambush markers that are still on the battlefield, you can select one unit from your army that is in cult ambush and set that destroyed unit back up on the battlefield using the deep strike ability, containing all of its models with their full wounds remaining, with at least one of the models touching that cult ambush marker. So they come back in your opponent's movement phase and then can't do anything until your next phase, until your next turn. Yeah, I mean, just so confusing. Maybe I'm just being thick, but it seems pretty confusing. Okay, they've got another army rule. Interesting. 2 army rules. This one is only about Brood Brothers, though. If your army faction is Genius cults, you can include Astra Militarum units in your army, even though they do not have Genius cults faction keyword. They combine points cost Astra Militarum units you can include, depends on the battle size. So basically you get 500 points, so a quarter of your army. If if you want. No Astra Militarum models in your army can be your warlord, and they cannot be given enhancements. Interesting, you cannot include units with any of the following keywords in your army using these rules. You can't include epic heroes, you can't include Ogrins, Ratlins, Militarum Tempestus, Commissars, Regimental Preachers, Regimental Engine Seers, Minunatorum Servitors, or Aircraft. Wow. There's a lot of stuff you can't include. That's fine. They're not, obviously not corruptible, this lot. Okay, unit. Alas, the no epic heroes conditions mean you can't hypnotize or infect characters like Lord Solar Leontas. But you can still add extra tactical options to your army, such as Lehman Rust tanks, field ordnance batteries, or death strikes. Neophyte hybrid, movement 6, T3, 5 up save, 1 wound, 7 leadership, OC2. It's got all the weapons. Mining lasers, basically the same as a las cannon, but he's hitting on 5s. Obviously, if he stays still, it'll be 4s. It's all the same pretty much as what we've seen. A lot of 0 AP. Mine laser's got -3. The crack grenade launcher's got -2. D3 damage. The seismic cannons are strength 6 -1 D3 damage. 4 attacks. Hitting on 5s again. They are heavy and rapid fire too though, so you could be getting 6 attacks. It's actually quite nice. You would be hitting on 4s if you stayed still. Yeah. The Weber is now a flamer. I don't think it was before, and it's devastating wounds. But it is strength 2 otherwise. Yeah. It's okay. And then, yeah, the close combat weapons. So, a generation in the making. At the start of your command phase, roll 1d6 for each objective marker you control. That has 1 or more units from your army with this ability in range. If 1 or more of the results is a 4+, you gain 1 CP. So, basically, for every one of these guys that you have an objective marker, roll a dice. And then once you get a 4+, you get a CP. You can't get any more than that. It's quite nice. It's a nice way to get extra CP. In the reinforcement step of your movement phase, you can return up to 3 destroyed models to the bearer's unit. If the bearer's unit is within range of an objective marker, you can return up to D3 plus 3 destroyed models. This ability cannot be used to return destroyed character models in the attached units. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with the Gene Stealers before, having this sort of ability similar to the Necrons. Let's just hope that, you know, Necrons are pointed as low as these guys are. Okay, the Patriarch, the big bad boy. So we have movement 8, T5, save 4+, 6 wounds, leadership 6, 1 OC, Patriarch's Claws, devastating wounds, twin link, so you re-roll into wound, attacks 5, 2 up weapon skill, strength 6, AP 2 damage. It's alright. I was expecting to see more attacks, but it's alright. Devastating wounds. On 6s, you are re-rolling to wound. It's okay. It's quite nice. They seem real strong for a unit that cannot die, even if they die and fight +5 CP. Why not? Yeah, I mean, if these are cheap, then you're just going to have loads of them regenerating you CP, keep coming back to life, like either bringing models back, or if they actually die, then you just put another marker down and bring them back. Yeah, they seem alright. They seem like almost like they're more durable and more likely to come back than Necron Warriors. Weird. Deep Strike, Infiltrators, and Leader. Oh, do these have the Infiltrate keyword? No, I just have Deep Strike. So the old Patriarch can infiltrate. Interesting. Might from Beyond. Does he give the infiltration keyword to the rest of his unit? Or do they all have to have that to be able to infiltrate? Is he a leader? Yeah, he's a leader. Yeah, so he does get thingy. While this model is leading a unit, melee weapons equipped by models in that unit have the devastating wounds ability. Oh, wow. So he gives everyone devastating wounds. Very nice. Cosmic Horror. So you put him with a unit of Gene Stealers who reroll to wound if you're on an objective, and then they reroll into wound with devastating wounds. Oh, with that many attacks. It's going to be brutal. Less killy this edition though. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model must take a battle shock test. That's very strong as well. Psychic Familiar. Once per battle at the start of the phase, this model can use a Psychic Familiar. If it does, until the end of the phase, double the range of its Cosmic Horror. So, Cosmic Horror within 12 inches. Very nice. 4 up in bum. Yeah. Doesn't seem too shabby. Looks alright. Okay, Demolition Charges. 6-inch range is basically grenades, aren't they? But not. Assault, Blast, 1 shot. Oh, so they can only use them once per battle. D6 plus 3. Ballistic skill 2. Strength 12, minus 2 damage. Very nice. Assault as well. And then remote explosives are not 1 shot. They're just blast and indirect fire. Range 24 inches. D6 plus 3. 3 up ballistic skill. Strength 5, 0p, 1 damage. Nice. Indirect fire. You can just shoot them out of line of sight. Very nice. On a 3+. Seems very strong. So we have the old Abominant. And he has his Warhammer. Power Sledgehammer. Attacks 3. 3 up weapon skill. Strength 12. Minus 2. D6 plus 1. It's alright. Ollie says he'll probably only be able to join Gene Stealers. The Patriarch, yeah. I'm assuming so. That is sort of who he's usually put with. Yeah, I mean, but with that combination with the Gene Stealers, and I think, Ollie, did you say that Tyranids have got a reroll to hit strat. So with that many attacks, you stick 10 Gene Stealers, rerolling to hit with devastating wounds and rerolling to wound. That's going to be pretty brutal. Oh. What have I done? I'm back. So. Yeah, but the Sledgehammer, it's like alright. The fact it's only 3 attacks is a bit crap. Yeah, other than that, it's alright. It's okay. So, Coordinated Trap. At the start of your shooting phase, or the start of the fight phase, 2 Gene Stealer Cults units from your army that have not been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and 1 enemy unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a model on either of units make an attack, it can only target that enemy unit, and only if it is an eligible target for that attack. When resolving the attacks, add 1 to the wound roll. So this is basically like Crossfire. Although you don't have to be thingy-bobbed, but yeah, I mean, it's quite nice. You double up, you know, 2 units, because sometimes these Gene Stealer Cult units aren't that strong, as we see with the Neophytes in terms of their shooting. You know, you got 2 doing it. You get the +1 to wound for both units. That's quite nice. 2 CP. Then we have your movement phase. This is called Tunnel Crawlers. 1 Gene Stealer Cults unit from your army that is arriving using the Deep Strike ability this phase. Your unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. A unit targeted by stratagem is not eligible to declare a charge in the same turn. So it's that old thing where you used to pay a pre-game ability and they could be set up 3 inches away from any models. It's such a strong thing because you can take an objective away from someone with the 3 inch. Unless your opponent is very on the ball about it. So that is, yeah, really strong. And also you can still shoot. So you can still jump in, flame the crap out of someone, and then steal the objective. But yeah. Does it say anything else? Is there anything else? I did forget to mention the Drukhari did say they get an advance and charge stratagem in their post-faction focus write-up. Advanced charge stratagem for witch cult units, which is quite nice. Yeah. Seems alright. From the fight first ability conferred by the Locust to the lethal hits weapon ability a Barphagus brings with them, there are many devious ways to punish the foes of the cult. So yeah, sounds like the boys are going to be giving out the buffs. Okay, let's move on, shall we, to the Imperial agents. Okay, so start off. Imperial army is determined by the battle size, and character and retinue units have their own allowances, so you'll never have to choose between Inquisitor Greyfax and her henchmen as assigned agents. They won't benefit from the parent faction's army rule or detachment abilities, but their presence alone is worthy a worthy trade. Okay, army rule. So you can basically, if every model in your army has Imperium keyword, you can include agents of the Imperium units from your army, even if they do not have the faction keyword you selected in the army selection setup. The maximum number of agents of the Imperium units you can include in your army depends on the battle size shown below. So you can have 2 retinue units and you can have 2 character units. In addition, you cannot select a Vindicare assassin, a Calexis assassin, Eversor assassin, or a Calidus assassin to be your warlord. So, Vindicare Satchel, and with the lone operative rule, they can stay safely away from enemy forces who'd need to get within 12 inches to even start to shoot back. Great. Okay, so, movement, 7 inches, it's toughness 4, 6 up save, wounds 4, leadership 6, 1 OC. It has a 4 up invulnerable save. So, this is the Vindicare Assassin, so super snipery guy. He has the Infiltrator's keyword, so you can infiltrate. He has the Lone Operative keyword, so you can't shoot him unless you're within 12. And on top of that, he has the stealth keyword, so he is -1 to hit. Sounds pretty durable so far. Exeter's pistol, 12-inch range, 3 attacks, 2 up ballistic skill, strength 5, -2, 3 damage. So this has devastating wounds, ignores cover, pistol, and precision. Very nice. Then we have the Exodus rifle, devastating wounds, ignores cover, heavy, and precision. So if he does move, he doesn't get the +1 to hit, but if you're -1 to hit and he doesn't move, he's still hitting on 2s. So it's 48-inch range, so basically anywhere on the board. Sticking right high up on top of a building somewhere. 1 shot, 2 up ballistic skill, strength 7, so wounding most characters on a 3. -3 AP, so putting most characters on their invuln, if they've got one. And it's D3 +3 damage. But it is devastating wounds, so on a 6, that will be D3 +3 straight mortal wounds. Then we have the Vindicare combat knife, which is attacks 4, weapon skill 2, strength 4, -1, 1 damage. Then we have Deadshot. Each time this model makes a ranged attack, if a critical hit is scored, so if you do hit a 6, not only is it 3 + D3 mortal wounds, you add 3 to the damage characteristic of that attack. So it's now straight 6 + D3 mortal wounds. After this model has resolved its ranged attacks, select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. That unit must now take a battle shock test. Great. So you hit the leader, and then the whole unit has to take a battle shock test. Sweet. Once per battle, this is a shield breaker ability. When selecting targets for this model's Exodus rifle, it can fire a shield breaker round. If it does so, until the end of the phase, each time this model makes an attack with that weapon, no saving throws of any kind can be made against that attack. So it's our first ignoring invulnerable saves ability. Woohoo! I bet we're all excited about the ignoring invulnerable saves ability. I mean, this is ridiculous. So you can have 2 of these in your army. You can take 2 because they're characters. And then, so this, in my mind, this could be a real problem. This could be a real problem. I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, don't get me wrong, he was not good enough in the last edition to really warrant taking, so they did need to make him better. But if you've got armies like Admech, like Necrons, like Ollie says, yay, like Votan, and say that these are armies that really rely on their characters to buff them, to actually make them usable for a lot of these units, which is what it seems to be going down the line of. From what I've seen from a lot of these leader abilities, it's actually making a lot of these like battle line units or other units, actually making them a little bit more playable. Suddenly you got 2 of these guys, and obviously I don't know how they're pointed. They could be 500 points each. I doubt it. The most stupid sniper, Chris Kyle in Warhammer. Yeah. Is that American Sniper? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this just seems a little bit too much. Because, I mean, I haven't seen, for instance, Cryptex. We don't know what Cryptex do, but let me use these as an example. You've got the Cryptek, who has 4 wounds in the current edition. It doesn't look like characters are getting many more wounds than that they already have. So let's say he's got 4 wounds. Some of them have an invuln, but some of them don't. So let's say he's shooting one that doesn't. There's strength 4, so he's wounded on 3, so it's pretty reliable. And they've got a 4-up save, and he's -3 AP. So you're just killing a Cryptek, bang, like that. And then you're making his Necron warrior unit that he was attached to, that have got leadership 7, making them do a battle shock test. Like, I mean, when you've got stuff like Marines and things like that don't really rely so much on their characters to buff them, and other things like maybe Drukhari. But even for Drukhari, once you get you get Drazar out, or you get a Succubus out, you see a Succubus or Lilith who's got like, oh, I can do a 3-up invuln. I've done my 3-up invuln. Sorry, love. Shield breaker. See you later. And if you've got 2 of them, you go, see you later, Lilith. See you later, Drazar. Like, boom, you're gone. Can't do nothing about it. Harley said, yeah, he's the American sniper on crack. Yeah, I mean, he's seen... And then, not only that, this is the other problem with your Necrons, your Death Guard, your Votann, you know, your slower armies. Not only have you got the problem of, oh shit, he's going to kill all my characters. Yeah, you can leave them behind cover, maybe try and string them out a bit and that sort of thing. But sometimes you're going to need to bring them out. Not only is that, but you've got to get within 12 inches of him to shoot him. Well, you're like the slowest armies about. So you can have, you know, a Doomsday Ark at the back of the thing with a 72-inch range gun. Doesn't help if you've got to be within 12 inches of him. I think a cool rule for him would be that after he shoots, he loses lone operator like he shot and shown his position. Yeah, Harley, that would be a really cool thing. Like, yeah. The best thing, George says, the best thing about a Vindicator has always been controlling enemy movement. They won't run out in the open if he is there. Now, George, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be good. I'm like, if that weapon was 3 damage, yeah, and then on a 6, it's +3 or +D3, and they're mortal wounds, he's still going to be really good at his job. And he's still going to be scary that you don't want to move your character out. But now he's like, boom, see you later. I mean, even things like Abaddon and people like Abaddon and that, like, you know, Abaddon's going to go down to this. Even Gilliman, he could end up going down to that. Although Gilliman will have the lone operative ability as well. So can a lone operative ability be shot by a precision shot? Anyone know? They won't move. They won't move at all if he's there. Yeah, you're just gonna be like that. Pretend he hasn't seen me. But yeah, if anyone knows, can a precision gun shoot a lone operative? So if you've got 2 Vindicators, can they shoot each other? Is my my question. Because Gilliman has a lone operative ability if he's within 3 inches of a unit. But if that unit, if he can be precisioned, 2 of these are going to mess Gilliman up big time. George says, don't think so, no. So you don't think that precision weapons can hit lone operatives? Okay. Seems strong, boys. Seems strong. But you know, he might be 200 points and then he's probably not worth taking. Do you know what I mean? If he's 200 points, you're like, that's a lot of... Well, we don't know how the points are pointed. But if it's like similar to 9th points and he's 200 points, then he might be a bit too much for what he's doing because he wouldn't be great in all scenarios. Also, I will have to say as well, a thing against him is that all ruins are now obscuring, even if they're small, even if they're under 5 inches. So if you've got a 3-inch ruin, he still can't see over that ruin. So it doesn't matter how high you've got him, he still can't see over it. So that will make his lines of sight a lot worse. To be honest, you're just going to stick him somewhere where he's got line of sight to like some of the middle objectives and then just shoot some crap there, I think. Hardy says, I'm sure precision ignores everything. Okay. It would make sense if precision ignored the lone operative keyword. Okay, Inquisitor. This is just a general nobody Inquisitor. So their combi weapon is anti 4+ infantry, devastating wounds, rapid fire 1. It's alright, strength 4, -2. Yeah. It's alright. Psychic Shockwave. Sounds devastating. It does have devastating wounds. Psychic and Torrent. It is a flamer. So 2d6 attacks. Flaming. Strength 3. -1/1 damage. It's alright. Strength 3. You get the odd mortal wound with it. If you roll really well, then great. But Inquisitorial melee weapon. Strength 5. No, attacks 5. Sorry, strength 4. -2/1 damage. Force weapon is strength 5 -2 d3 damage, 4 attacks. Authority of the Inquisition. While this model is leading a unit, it can embark within any transport that its bodyguard unit can embark within. Power of the Rosetta. Each time you target this model's unit with the stratagem, roll 1d6 on a 3+, you gain a CP. So you're just going to get some CP regen if you put in with a like, half decent unit that you want to spend stratagems on. Blessed Wardings. While this model is leading a unit, has a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. Again, it's quite nice. If he's cheap enough, then yeah, cool, probably take him. He has the Psychic Hero and a 5-up in bum. Yeah. He's alright depending on points, really. A bit like everything's alright depending on points. So we have the Imperial Navy Breaches. So movement 6 T3, 4-up save, 1 wound. Leadership 8+, OC 2. So, auto pistols, yeah. Bolt pistols, yeah. Demolition charge, assault, blast, hazardous, 1 shot, D6 +3, ballistic 4, strength 12, -2 damage. This bearer can only shoot his weapon once per battle, and if you then have to roll a D6 afterwards, and on a 1 someone dies. Melter gun, we know the melter gun stats. Heavy shotgun assault, strength 4, 0p, 1 damage. Las volley gun, this is probably going to be the same as the guard one. Strength 6, 0p, 1 damage, 4 shots. Plasma guns with sim plasma guns, yeah. Chain fist, anti-vehicle 3+. Oof, that is nice. We have seen that before. This is weapon skill 5 for these boys. Strength 6, -2, 2 damage, but if it's a vehicle, you smash it up on a 3+ to wound. Power weapon, strength 4, -2, 1 damage. Yeah, it's okay, 2 attacks. So, breaching team. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If the target has an enemy unit within range of an objective marker, you reroll the full wound roll instead. We've seen this quite a lot in this rule in different ways. Gene Sealer's got it. Someone else had it as well. Was it the Thousand Suns? I think it was the Thousand Suns, the Rubric Marines. Ollie will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. Endurance Shield. The bearer has a 4-up invulnerable save. That's nice. Grenade belts. The bearer has a smoke keyword, and each time you select the bearer's unit as the target of the grenade stratagem, roll 1 additional d6 when resolving that stratagem. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Inquisitor Greyfax. I do own Inquisitor Greyfax. I actually very much enjoyed painting her, which doesn't often happen, as I'm a terrible painter. Okay, movement 6, T3, 3-up save, 4 wounds, leadership 4+. That's high. OC 1. Castigation. So this is the crossbow, I think. Anti-character 4+. So it's wounding any character on a 4+. Devastating wounds. So you're not just wounding the character on a 4+, but you're also doing mortal wounds to them. It's precision and it's psychic. If that was 36 inches, that would be amazing. But it's 18-inch range. 1 attack, ballistic skill 3, strength 8, -2, 3 damage. It's nice if someone gets close. And then you've got the Condemner Stake, which is anti-psyker 2+, devastating wounds, precision, rapid fire 1. It's 24-inch range. 1 attack. If it had been more attacks, it'd probably be alright. Strength 4, 0p, 1 damage. Mastercrafted Power Sword. 4 attacks. 3-up weapon skill. Strength 4, -2, 2 damage. I would have thought the Power Sword would also have some anti-psyker thing, because she is the anti-psyker. But she's leader, assigned agents, authority of the Inquisition, so she can get in a transport with her bodyguard unit. While this model is leading a unit, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have the anti-psyker 4+ ability. That's really nice. Especially if you're going up against someone like Be'lakor, and you can just booker him down. How is Greyfax better leadership than Gilliman? Is she? What's Gilliman's? Is he 5+? If that's true, that is funny. She's an Inquisitor, mate. You know what I mean? That is funny. I hope does she give her leadership? Thing is, she's 4+ leadership, but does she give that? Can she use that for her bodyguard unit so she can pass on that? No escape, which I'm assuming this is going to be a similar rule to what the Drukhari witches have, because if they don't have it and Greyfax does, it would be very odd. Each time an enemy unit, excluding a monster or vehicle unit, that is within engagement range of one or more units with this ability is selected to fall back. Models in that enemy unit make the desperate escape test as if their unit was battle shocked. When doing so, if that unit is also battle shocked by other means, subtract 1 from each of those desperate escape tests. So that means I believe the desperate escape test, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is if you fall back and you have to do a desperate escape, you have to roll on a 1 or 2 you die. On a 1 or 2 a model dies. So if you're then subtracting 1, it will be on a 1, 2 or 3, so a 50% chance that every roll you make, say you've got 6 guys, basically 3 of them are dying. That's nice. That's a nice rule. Makes it very like, oh, do I really? Because if you spike the wrong way and your dice fail you, suddenly you either lose all of them or you lose, all but one. You're like, oh, is that a risk that I really want to take? That's actually really, really nice, that rule. And she has a 5+ invuln save. Okay, Agents of the Imperium datasheets cover a diverse range of specialists. Everything from assassins, inquisitors, to rogue traders and adeptus arbites. Or arbites. You let me know. Explains Robin from the Warhammer Design Studio. While you could field an entire army of these eclectic warriors, they have been designed first and foremost as allies of an Imperium army. And the rules presented here cover how to incorporate them into such armies. From Space Marines to Astra Militarum, you'll find the abilities and skills offered by Agents of the Imperium datasheet to add the new utilities and tricks to your force. It would be interesting to see like someone run an army with like Adeptus BTs or Arbites, rogue traders, the Navy breacher teams, the assassins, the inquisitors. It would be interesting to see how it'd work. I mean, you probably have to have some rhinos and stuff in there, but we're nearing the end of our faction focus series with only 2 left to go. Tomorrow we'll be looking at 5 Space Marine chapters who consider the Codex Astartes more of a set of guidelines than strict tenets to live by. And then the Titans of Warhammer 40,000 shake the earth with some thunderous new rules. So 5 chapters. So you got Space Wolves, you got Blood Angels, Dark Angels. I'm assuming Death Watch, although they did say Death Watch wasn't getting a faction focus. And then the other one I'm assuming is Black Templars. I can't think who else it would be. I don't think it would be Crimson Fists. Anyone else? Any other ideas of what other chapter that could be? And, I mean, don't get me wrong, Titans, I mean, they're cool and everything, but who's playing Titans in normal 40k, like, without an apocalypse thing? Why do we care about having a faction focus for Titans in realism? And, I mean, how many people actually own Titans? Because they're usually pretty expensive. Ollie says Templars, because Ollie owns Templars. So for him, they must be Templars. I think it will be because they had like the supplement in the White Dwarf, so I think it will be them. I'm assuming Deathwatch will be in there as well, even though they said they weren't getting a faction focus. But maybe they meant they weren't getting their own faction focus. Weird that they're doing like the Wolves, Dark Angels, Dark Angels, Blood Angels. They're not getting a separate one. I thought that was a bit strange. What happened to Quins? Yeah, exactly. Harlequins. Like, Harlequins are, in my mind, I mean, I know they got put into the Craftworld book, which is fine, because then you don't have to buy multiple books. And a lot of people who play Harlequins play Craftworld and vice versa. But to not give them a faction focus, I think is pretty crap. Like, it might be some people out there that only play Harlequins. And I feel like that's a little bit shitty of GW just to ignore them as a faction. It'd be a bit like ignoring Genestealer Cult as a faction. I think it's a bit wrong. Maybe when they said the Titans of Warhammer, they meant Harlequins, or they're just going to put them under a chapter of Space Marines. Yeah, I think that's bad. You'd have thought that they would. You'd thought they'd. Yeah, they're all in one book. Yeah, but I understand why they didn't do it for Inari, because Inari don't have separate units. Harley says they're saying the 24th of June for 10th, aren't they? I assume it would, if they're saying that, who's saying that? But it would be the 23rd because, oh no, 24th. You're right. That is a Saturday. Yeah, I imagine that's when it will come out, because it will probably go on pre-order on the 10th, and then the 24th will be the release date. But yeah, it just seems pretty sad that they're not doing a faction focus for Harlequins, because Harlequins have got their own models, so you get actual rules for them models. Whereas Inari's just like, they're like a parasite faction. They just steal other people's rules. Auspex Tactics is saying it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I assumed it was the 24th. It would be the 24th. And to be honest, if Mr. Allspecs Tactics is saying it, it's probably true. But yeah, it is a little bit sad that Harlequins, maybe, because they said this is the last faction focus on Friday. But maybe they'll just throw us a bone on the 2 weeks, probably from now or from Monday to when it comes out. They might throw some like rules out there for different units, such as the Harlequin units. That would be quite nice to see. You know, it's like if the faction focus for the 3 Space Marine chapters is, or sorry, the 5 Space Marine chapters, you think like, how many are we actually going to see? We're definitely going to probably see the Lion, because they'll show him. I just want to see every data sheet. 24th going to be a long day of reading. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably just start with the data sheets and the immediate armies that I'm going to play. And then the rest I'll learn over a bit of time. But I want to see like Wolfen. I want to see, you know, Wolfen Dreads. The guys that ride the wolves. My mind's gone blank. I want to see Deathwing, Black Knights. Like, there's a lot of units that they could really show off in a faction focus, and they're just like, you know, what are they called? The Blood Angel ones, Sanguinary Guard. But yeah, I feel like unless it's a really long article, if it's the same size article, they've all been about this size, we're not going to get much. We're not going to see much of any of them, really. If any of the units, it might just be rules like detachment abilities and things like that. Yes, Ollie, that's it. I'm going to learn these data sheets, so I'm going to play immediately and then spend the next 3 years learning the rest. Even though that during that 3 years, they'll all change when new codexes come out, and then we'll have to rebuy new cards. Not that we have to buy the cards this time. Well, we do have to buy the cards if we want them in, but you can see them as PDFs, I believe, on the GW website. Well, guys, thanks for coming. And I'm going to leave it there. It was a good little talk through a lot of data sheets and faction focuses. I think it was a bit weird that they put the Imperial agents in over like having a separate Space Wolf, Dark Angel, Blood Angel faction focus. But there you are. apparently that's what they're doing, and a Titan one instead of having a separate one for them guys. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll be back. Probably be back on Friday to talk through the Space Marine chapters and also the Titans. So see that, guys. Join Discord, and I'll speak to you all soon.